I've never played a game from Atlas and felt disappointed. In fact, the lowest score I've ever given out to an Atlas game is 9.3, and this is my 5th Atlas title. What's in store? This is Raidou Remastered, the mystery of the Soulless Army. Don't go away. So, Raidou. Originally a 2006 release, it's honestly an IP that is completely forgotten about in my opinion. Never once in my 27 years of playing video games have I ever heard of Raidou. Now technically I didn't become an Atlas fan until a couple years ago, but still, I've never heard of it still. But just because it is an Atlas title, I purchased it. This is a straight up reputation purchase. What did I know about this game coming in? Literally not a single thing. Not a single thing. And I'm kind of glad I didn't search up anything, because this is not the kind of game you can get across in a couple sentences or in a paragraph. It's gonna take me a few minutes to explain how unique this game is. To start off, you play as, well, Raidou. That's not actually his name. His name is whatever you want to name him, but he is Raidou the 14th. And for all intents and purposes, your new name is now Raidou. Honestly, a cool ass name. But what's even cooler is what you do. You are one part detective, one part devil summoner. As far as the detective part, this honestly is just straight up the story. You and this other guy you're good friends with run this detective agency. But you're not a normal detective agency. No, you only take special cases, and I mean special cases. And you're quickly introduced to your first case, where a girl named Kaya calls in and says, hey, I have a special case, meet me on the bridge. And you and your partner are like, no, we take only special cases, like, you know, if you know, special cases. And she insists, no, this is seriously something you guys need to look into, meet me on the bridge. Upon meeting her, she tells you, listen, this is important. You need to kill me. You quickly get ambushed, Kaya goes missing, and that's where the story starts from there.
私を殺して。
殺してって一体。あんたね、大人をからかっちゃいかんよ。
私、16になってしまう。このままじゃ私は、このままじゃ。
セロ!
As the detective on case, you will go town to town, street to street, person to person, trying to figure out where Kaya is. But you do have some help here, in the form of your devils. And if you've also played Persona, you'll recognize these as personas, devils, whatever you want to call them. Almost all the major hotspot towns have a Dark Realm equivalent. In these Dark Realms, devils will spawn in the overworld. You can just see them walking around, you can attack them, you can run by them, whatever you want. If you choose to engage in combat, you can then Pokemon style capture them in these little vials. This is important because the devils on your team heavily contribute to your detective abilities. Each devil comes equipped with 1 or even 2 detective abilities. These are essentially ways to help Raidou do things that he naturally couldn't do as any human, such as fly, read minds, ignite a person's soul, push extremely heavy objects. You will need to group together a crew of devils that will help you solve Kaya's case. And one of the funniest parts about this whole thing is that you could do such thing as solo investigation, which is take control of your devil and have him roam around the world. To me, this is extremely funny. I never got a kick out of walking around the open world as the devil because it just seems so out of place. Now, you and your devils are not just specifically used for overworld detective purposes, because the other major part of this game is the combat. And combat in this game hinges on one very specific thing. But first, let's talk about Raidou. Raidou himself in combat. Super fun. It's super simple, but super fun. It's like binge killing. You have the standard square to light attack, triangle to heavy attack, O to dodge. And then you have your more powerful moves that once used set on a 20 or 30 second timer until you can use them again, depending on their strengths. And of course, you have your special move, which, for all intents and purposes, is extremely satisfying on all levels. But that's not all Raidou can do. He has this thing called Devil's Bane. Knock an enemy off its balance, or more commonly, just do a perfect dodge and you can activate Devil's Bane. A quick QTE, which if performed, can activate just another, on all intents and purposes, in every angle, a very satisfying move.
That was cool.
But the micro gameplay inside this combat scenario is very interesting because the light attacks do very little damage. Not absolutely nothing. Like, they do some damage, but compared to the heavy attacks, it's quite a lot less. But what you get in return is light attacks generate mana, and all of your mana is used by your devil companions. Now, here's where this hinges.
Okay, let's hear it.
Every time you enter combat scenario, out of all of the devils you have in your inventory, you can pre-select 2 to be your left and right hand man. They will spawn with you in combat and they will fight with you. Now, you can technically control the entire combat scenario as your demons, like as your devils, but that would be extremely long and drag out every single fight with a lot of menuing. Okay, if you want to do specific moves from time to time with your devils, you can do that. But for 95% of fights, you will be letting the CPU do its own thing.
So, wait a minute.
Now, you might be thinking, wait, what? A huge part of combat hinges on the CPU being good or not? If it's good, then, I mean, that's good, but it could go so wrong. If the AI CPU fighting ally characters are just horribly designed, it would make combat incredibly ass. And now that I finished the game, I can honestly say, this might be the cleanest, most intelligent AI companions I've ever had to fight with. It is super duper shocking to me how many times I was like super aware of the fact that the CPU was helping me in combat a lot. And there would be specific moments where I would lose HP and I would look to my ally to see if he's going to heal me right away. And every single test I thought of or threw at the ally companions here, controlled by a CPU, they passed with absolutely flying colors every time. And this makes combat so unbelievably fun. My strategy here was to run myself as a pretty balanced character, and on my left and right I would have one support devil, just dedicated support, you know, buffing my defense, buffing my attack, healing everyone at any possible moment. And my other one was a pure up strength based, just bulldoze the enemies. And seeing your two ally persona devil things just work so extremely well in tandem with you, the player, was extremely impressive. Now, you don't just obtain devils in the Dark Realm. No, you can also obtain them in the Fusion Room. Now, for you Persona fans out there, you might think about this as the Velvet Room. This is exactly what it is. Although the guy who runs this fusion thing is not as cool or as important as Igor, and there's also no Velvet Room attendance here, so aesthetically speaking, it's not as cool, but all the functions are still there. Register and recall any devil you want, look at the fusion charts, figure out exactly which two devils you want to smash together to create a new one, and simply put, I love this. I can spend hours in here creating a super ultra team. There was just a seemingly endless amount of possibilities here. Fusing together two allies to create a stronger one just never gets old in my opinion. Holy shit. Frost Mermaid. So yeah, that's really all of the mechanics and the story setup for Raidou Remastered. And once you kind of get what this game's game flow is kind of like, it becomes extremely fun. Presentation. Yeah, if you've played an Atlas game, you know what's up. You know what's coming. Absolutely fantastic. Raidou Remastered has such unique music that is to this game only. Like the main sort of melody and notes here for Raidou's main themes that you hear throughout is so like you hear, if you hear it in a random video online, you go, that's Raidou, that's Raidou. There's always just so much good to mention in Atlus games for presentation. It's almost too much to mention. I end up just boiling down to just saying, well, overall, fantastic, blanket 10 out of 10. Because the visual and auditory aspects of this game in small parts and big parts is so unbelievably satisfying. Done. Speedy. Something I wasn't 100% certain on was that in the games I've played from Atlus, they typically, when speaking to characters, they have like a 2D anime style head portrait, but here it goes for like this 3D model that'll talk. And honestly, at first I didn't like it, but by the end of the game, I kind of really got used to it. Not only that, these models that are talking have extremely good voice actors.
Raidou-san, 本当にありがとう。俺のこと And something that I don't think that Atlus gets enough credit for is the diversity of their demons or devil's personas, whatever you want to name them. It's so much. There is so many different devils in this game. Part of the crew that I run is honestly just based off of looks, how cool they look. And there were multiple times where I was thinking like, man, I gotta choose between like 7 cool looking devils right now. And not only that, they have such good personality in this game, honestly. You can talk to some of the friendly ones in the Dark Realm and they always have fun things to say. There's some delete himself from the screen. Fucking the ghost ran away. Also, when fusing them, they will speak up and say something before they're fused. And if you max out their loyalty bar, when you fuse them, they'll leave a letter for Raidou. Overall impact for Raidou Remastered. The first few hours of this game is honestly kind of tough. There's just so much to learn. I know this is kind of like every other Atlus game, but there's so much to learn, so many maps and menus to go through, exactly learning what I'm supposed to be doing. But once you get the hang of everything, it becomes way simpler than you ever thought it was. And my enjoyment of Raidou Remastered went like this. It starts pretty okay, and it just keeps going up, and it never stopped going up. The ending to this game, I can't overstate how great of an ending this game has. I won't spoil it, but it is fantastic. And overall, my closing statement and number one takeaway from this game is how incredibly, and this is important because I've been gaming a long time, but incredibly unique this game is. The setup of part devil summoner, part detective is cool as hell. There is, in the sea of many thousands upon thousands of games, nothing else like Raidou. It literally stands on its own island. The mechanics that are set up for you, the music that's involved, this game knows exactly what it is, and that is its superpower, I think. Raidou Remastered is a 20 to 25 hour experience that is densely packed with simple yet addictive mechanics. A story that will suck you in through its episodic chapters. That was the end of episode 6? No, that was so good. And overall, leave you with a feeling that you know when the end is coming and you wish the game just wouldn't end. Raidou Remastered is a game that I will keep on my shelf, as I honestly could not imagine giving this game up. Overall score, 9.2 out of 10. So that's it. The 5th Atlus title I've played. All technically speaking, it is the lowest score I've given out to an Atlus title, 9.2, if you can believe that, which is funny because 9.2 would probably be one of the best scores I've given out this entire year. But that just proves how good Atlus is. Where do we go from here? Well, I'm going to try and play a couple more 2025 releases before the year is up, and then I'm going to get into my backlog come the new year. So what game's next? Who knows? I'm your host, Beneath the Mask. Hope you just review. Peace out. Oh, let's go. I was going to totally pull the gun in her. I know you're here to find out the Easter egg soundtrack that I put in at the end of every video, but did you know that I have a Buy Me a Coffee page? A page where you can donate to your favorite YouTube creator. Half of the money that's donated to that page is personally donated back to Child's Play Charity, a charity that's dedicated to supplying games and technology to children in hospitals around the world. So that said, did you guess the soundtrack?